Good evening, everyone. How y'all doing? Yeah. We're going to try that again. That's not the energy we need for tonight. Okay, how y'all doing, friends? Yes, that is the energy we're looking for. Welcome, everyone, to this concert called Your Brain on Art, a multi-sensory concert experience. My name is Gretchen Renshaw, and I'm proud to serve as the conductor of this Hendricks College Wind Ensemble you see before you. And I am so thrilled to be joined by my friend and colleague in the art department, Melissa Gill, tonight for this big, giant, collaborative experience. So this event is actually the third and final event in a series called Conway Connections, Building Community Through the Neural Arts. And this is a series that Hendricks has developed in partnership with the Max event venue, which is right here in downtown Conway. And our goal with this whole series was to bring Hendricks students and faculty into better connection with the Conway community and to better connect the Conway community to us here at Hendricks. And there are a number of different ways we could have gone about this, of course, but we have chosen the arts as our vehicle for this trial. So I am really excited here to turn things over to Melissa. She's going to tell you a little bit more about the book that both of us read together in a reading group over the summer called Your Brain on Art. And as the title suggests, it is what is providing the framework for not only this concert, but for this entire series. So, Melissa, take it away.
Thanks, Gretchen. Can you guys all hear me? Okay. So Gretchen and I read this book, Your Brain on Art, for a book study over the summer, and this book introduces the topic of neural arts. If you had never heard of neural arts before, I have the definition right here ready for you from the book. Neuro arts is a study of how the arts and aesthetic experiences measurably change the body, brain, and behavior, and how this knowledge is translated into practices that advance health, well-being, and learning. Researchers are discovering that the arts alter a complex physiological network of interconnected systems, including neural circuitry, circulatory, respiratory, immune, and endocrine, and psychological, like nothing else. And so we were reading about a lot of different scientific studies where the data showed how the brain has changed and which areas of the brain are changed to create results that make people more pro-social, more open to learning new things, and enhance the sort of sense of community. Yeah, all of those things. Arts and well-being, arts and flourishing, and arts and community were the main points.
Sorry, we were having a little clicker emergency here. So, yes, as Melissa was saying, the authors help us connect the study of neural arts to these three main areas. And our series, as you might imagine, is picking up on this third piece, how we can use the arts to build community. And so we started this series last Friday with a lunch and learn experience that was held down at the Max. Then we had another event on Tuesday, also at the Max, a music-inspired art experience, which featured our Hendricks College Chamber Orchestra, conducted by Dr. Alexander Polyakoff. And then y'all are here tonight for this finale, the multi-sensory concert experience. And I want to make sure that it's very clear, this whole thing, this series, this concert in particular, is a huge experiment. We have never done anything quite like this before. We have never played in this space before. We've never done a huge gallery with print installations and art experience stations before. We are trying a whole bunch of new things, and we hope that you are already enjoying what we've put together, and I think you will hopefully continue to enjoy once you hear what the Wind Ensemble has done as well. So, the goal of this experiment, Melissa?
So the goal of this experiment is to bring the arts together from a couple of different disciplines. Obviously, we have music, we have printmaking, and we're following Hendricks' liberal arts approach to make this event happen and all of you guys to enjoy this experience for the greater public good.
Right. We will also be joined occasionally by the lovely rolling sounds of the carts from the dining hall. So it is also a cross-disciplinary experience with the upstairs as well. Our mission for tonight is based very much on concepts from the book. So neuroscience research tells us that multisensory experiences can help us to experience awe. We also know from neuroscience research that when we experience awe, that facilitates prosocial behavior. Prosocial behavior is the kind of stuff that breaks down us versus them thinking. And what we're going going to do at the end of the concert tonight is a collaborative type of arts activity, which we hope will bring about some connection. And we planned this concert way back in September, although I started thinking about it in July. We planned it back in September in particular, and so we were thinking ahead to this time. Here we are 2 weeks out from a major election, right? And so how can we do something meaningful through the arts to help bring about community and connection in this time after an election for which we wouldn't know the results until, well past when we had to start planning all of this. So that is our goal tonight, to use the arts as a way to facilitate connection through neuroscience research that tells us that this series of things is what can happen. So, how are we going to get at all of these senses? Well, the sound, you see a lot of folks up here, and they're holding sound-creating instruments. So you're going to hear a lot of sound from up here, but I want to tell you that the pieces that we've picked specifically are trying to get at the idea of inspiring awe. So there are a couple of our pieces that are based in a minimalist kind of style, which can help get us to that place. There is a piece that has us thinking about maybe a giant cathedral type of space. There is a piece that helps us think about literally space, like the outer space and the planets. And so we've chosen this music very specifically to try to get us into that kind of headspace.
All right, and the next sense we're going to dazzle you with tonight is sight, and hopefully you've already seen my students' work that's displayed here. These are print installations by my beginning printmaking students, and I'd like to thank all of them for participating and making these incredible pieces so you can enjoy these works. A printmaking installation is meant to be immersive and to include the space. As a viewer of this artwork, you're meant to sort of inhabit it and stand inside of it and be a part of it. Right, and so what's the next sense we're going to do? Touch, and some of you already did this in the lobby. We have art experience stations. We have a fabulous origami station. I am manning the Lego dot printmaking station, and then there's a boomwhacker station which incorporates the arts and physics. So you can touch the materials and make something new tonight.
We are handling the taste and smell through the variety of foods and beverages you find around this room, but they're not just any old things that we went to Kroger and got. They are specifically chosen by the students when they had their printmaking and wind ensemble collaborative meeting a few weeks ago. We asked them, Melissa and I asked them to think about foods that they thought would pair especially well with either their prints or with the prints and the music that the printstallations were all about. One other thing I want to mention, because it's not exactly a printstallation, it is what we're calling a nature station, and it's over there in that corner. This effort was led by Dr. Candace Thomas and Professor Aiden Custer and some students who helped them out. The reason why we have this station in here is at least partially for symmetry, right? There are 3 printstallations over there were 2, right? So there's a little bit of that. But really the other reason why we have it is because the authors of Your Brain on Art tell us that nature is a naturally multisensory space. In fact, it is the quintessential example of an enriched environment. And enriched environments are those multisensory kinds of spaces that we're trying to create here tonight. And so if these other senses aren't working for you, just go stare at some plants for a little bit. There's a water feature over there, which is usually in my office. It's very calming. And they also came up with some kind of, what were y'all doing again? Like
Leaf rubbings.
Leaf rubbings. There you go. They came up with that on their own. It's fantastic.
Right, so we invite you tonight to involve all of your senses in what you're going to experience here, and just breathe and look and see, feel, hear, and taste, and notice what you notice.
So before we dive into the wind ensemble performance, I need to pause here and say thank you. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to Melissa Gill for all of her tremendous work with her students, and I've really enjoyed collaborating with her over the past several years. This is, what, our 6th or 7th one of these, and they just keep getting bigger and better every single time. So can we please say thanks to Melissa Gill?
Brendan is an amazing collaborator.
Thanks. And I want to draw your attention to the insert in your program, which lists the, not quite 1 million people, but a lot of people that it took to put all of this together. I want to emphasize that we have never played in this space before. I want to emphasize that Worsham is not designed to have a band play in it. And so there was a lot of work that we had to do, which was facilitated by folks in the Media Center, by the event services folks. We had help from Christian Cutler over at the Wingate Museum to help us with some of the display board stuff out there. You can see all the folks who are listed. I don't want to keep listing because inevitably I will forget someone, but they're all there. And I just want to emphasize that this whole thing that you're experiencing tonight is the work of a large group of people who are working together as a big giant team. And I am so, so very grateful to each and every single one of the folks who in some way touched this concert and made this all happen. So can we just say, have a big general thank you to all the folks who made this possible. So now, what to expect? This is already a really unusual kind of concert setting, so why would we present the concert to you in a usual way? We're not going to. We are going to share with you an essentially continuous stream of music for about the next 35 minutes. So we have our 5 wind ensemble pieces, which you see in the printed program, but then in between we have transitional music, which exists because it was composed by one of our students in the wind ensemble, right here, Evelyn Timba, an alto saxophone. So she wrote this music in a way that will help us get from one piece to the next, because our goal is that we'd love for you to hold your applause until the end, and then you can let it come bursting out of you in a cascade of clapping. There you go. Wow, I can't believe I pulled that one out of my hat. So as we go along, I invite you to follow along with the slideshow, because you're going to get to see photographs of each of the Princetallations as they go along with the pieces, so you'll be able to see that. And heads up, there's a little audience participation in one of the pieces. So be on the lookout for that. I will show you when to do the thing that you will be asked to do. It's very simple, I promise. So for right now, the wind ensemble is going to take a couple of minutes to warm back up, and then we will get started. And afterwards, we are going to have a collaborative art opportunity, instructions to come. But for right now, thank you again so much for being here, and we're really looking forward to sharing this music with you. Thanks, folks. played the tunes for you. How'd you like them? Cool. So next, we are closing our event with some collaborative art out in the borough. So here's what you're going to do. Remember that shape that you have printed in your program? Yeah, if you don't know you have a shape printed in your program, I'll tell you now, you have a shape printed in your program. So I want you to go out and find a table that has a bunch of pieces of paper with that same shape on it. And on your shaped piece of paper, your instruction is to express your reaction to the concert. This can be in drawing, this can be in words. It can be, I don't know, you could fold up the paper in a creative origami-like way. You can do whatever you want. I just want you to take that piece of paper and express your reaction to the concert. I want you to share it with at least one other person at your table, and then pin that piece of paper to the big display board that's up front. Meanwhile, for those joining the live stream, hi live stream friends, you have a way to participate in this too. So there's a link in the live stream description so that you can join us virtually for this. So after you do the collaborative art experience, I hope you will visit the Prinstallations if you haven't gotten to already. Check out the art experience stations. I heard some inadvertent boomwhackers going off during one of the pieces. That's okay, we'll go play them on purpose if you feel like. And keep enjoying the snacks and chat with the Wind Ensemble friends and printmaking friends. And just thanks again, everyone, so much for coming out. We so appreciate your willingness to let us try this big, huge, very different experiment. So thanks, everyone.